Hi, welcome to the program Plants to Attract Birds and Bees. I'm Stacy Mora with the Gwinnett County Public Library. Thanks for joining us. Let's get started. In this program, I will discuss the importance of plants to birds and bees. I will describe a variety of flowers and vines and trees that you may want to add to your yard. Then I'll discuss resources that can help you in finding the right plants for your yard. Why are plants important? Well, first of all, plants absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen from their leaves into the air we breathe, so plants are good for us. Plants also add beauty to your property, and plants provide food for living things. My love affair with gardening and birds began some 40 years ago as a child. My dad used to tell me the names of certain birds in our backyard, which he had learned as a student at the University of Georgia from Dr. Eugene Odom, who taught ecology and biology. Later on in my life, I joined the Audubon Society and participated in yearly bird counts. I learned so much about plants and birds doing these bird counts. Gardening is a wonderful activity that you can do at any age with any area you have, whether it's a small backyard or a large backyard or containers or pots on your deck. Bees are important to humans because they play a key role in pollinating the crops that we need for the food we eat. They also provide us with honey, beeswax, royal jelly, and propolis. And most of the plants I mention in this program also attract bees. Native plants are great to consider when you're purchasing plants. Why is that, you may ask? Well, native plants don't require fertilizers and fewer pesticides than lawns do. They require less water than lawns, and they help reduce air pollution and provide food and shelter for wildlife. In addition, they provide beauty and biodiversity in our environment. Best of all, they attract birds, bees, and butterflies. This program will look at some great flowering flowers and vines and trees to consider. First, let's look at the flowers. This is the purple coneflower, also known as Echinacea purpurea. This is a hardy, daisy-like perennial with beautiful blooms that attract goldfinches and other birds in the fall for the seeds. Hummingbirds and bees love it all summer. They grow in a sunny spot. This photograph was taken last year in my garden. Next, we have the sunflower, or Helianthus augustifolius. This is the king of all bird seed flowers. My birds love to eat sunflower seeds in the feeders, but when you plant these sunflowers, you have a natural bird feeder in your yard. Birds like the tufted titmouse, the cardinals, and chickadees, they will love to come to these flowers for food. It is an annual that you can plant with seeds each year. Some varieties can grow up to 8 feet tall. You can leave the seeds on during the winter for the birds to enjoy. Next, we have one of my favorites, the butterfly weed, or Asclepias tuberosa. That sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. This plant is native to North America, and it gets its name from the butterflies attracted to it. It's in the milkweed family, and it has beautiful yellow and orange flowers. This plant offers abundant flowers, and it reblooms all summer. It is a host plant for monarch butterflies, and it attracts insects that birds love to eat. This photograph came from my deck last year where I planted the butterfly weed. Next, we have the Beebalm, also called Monarda. This is in the genus of the mint family, and there are several names for it, such as oswego and horse mint and bergamot. And when you rub the leaves, you smell lemons. These come in a variety of colors from white to pink to crimson, and they attract bees, birds, butterflies, and yes, hummingbirds love bee balm. The leaves are edible, and can be chopped up in your salads or added to summer drinks to enjoy. One of my favorite flowers to put in vases are the zinnias, or Zinnia Violacea. These flowers come in a wide variety of colors, and they're easy to grow and care for. Of course, the bees and hummingbirds love the nectar, and the birds love the seeds. So here's a tip. Leave the blooms on because zinnias produce great big seeds that the birds love to eat, especially finches, sparrows, and juncos. Next, we have a plant that may be hard to find. I found mine at Randy's Nursery in Lawrenceville, but you can also get Joe Pieweed at the Georgia Native Plant Sales or at the Atlanta Audubon Plant Sales. The botanical name is Eutrochium purpureum. It is a native plant, and it comes back every year, and Joe Pieweed attracts both seed-eating and insect-eating birds, as well as the bees and the butterflies. And a funny thing is that the tufted titmouse bird uses it for food and shelter all winter. So don't cut the flowers back in the winter. The flowers come in rose to mauve colors, and they give off a wonderful vanilla-like scent. No wonder the bees love them. I'd like to talk now about two important vines to consider adding to your yard. Maybe like me, you have an ugly chain link fence in your backyard and you want to try to cover it with something. Well, this is the perfect thing, the trumpet honeysuckle, or Lonicera sempervirens. This wonderful vine attracts bees, hummingbirds, and other birds. What they love are the flowers, and they appear in the spring and they last all summer. And then in the fall, the flowers produce red fruit, and the birds love to eat them in the fall. Consider planting this on a fence or a trellis, or grow it as a bush. It's not recommended to grow on trees because vines can damage trees. Our next vine is the Virginia creeper, or Parthenocissus quinquefolia. It's not poisonous, although it may look like poison oak. It produces small dark berries that feed the birds all winter. The berries are poisonous to us, so watch out. The leaves turn a beautiful crimson color, as you can see in the picture here, in the fall. Again, just like with the honeysuckle, you want to plant the Virginia creeper near a fence or a trellis and let it grow up the trellis. It grows wild in my yard. Now we get to the trees. The first tree I'd like to talk about is the Serviceberry tree, also known as Amelanchier Canadensis. This is a beautiful tree with lovely flowers in the spring, edible fruit in the summer, and beautiful yellow-orange leaves in the fall. Birds really love this tree. Humans can also eat the berries. They look and taste similar to blueberries. While this tree is hard to find, you can order it at the arbordayfoundation.org. And if you can't find this tree, consider adding a fruit tree to your yard, like a quince or a plum tree or a fig tree. The next tree is the crabapple tree, or also known as Genus malus. While crabapples tend to be sour to us, birds love them. In the spring, you have your bees and your hummingbirds that love the spring blossoms, and they're a beautiful pink color, as you can see in the picture. And this tree also makes for a good nesting sites for birds in the spring. The crabapple is self-fertile, meaning that you don't have to have two of them. However, the fruiting does improve with a second tree of a different variety. These trees can usually be found at nurseries and stores like Home Depot or Lowe's. The Bluepoint juniper is our last tree, and it's also known as the Juniperus chinensis. More than 50 bird species love this tree, such as robins, sparrows, swallows, warblers, cedar waxwings, and they visit this tree for its fruit, and the shelter and the nesting sites that it provides. These trees do it all, and they're evergreen, which means they provide shelter in the winter. These trees can grow up to 12 feet tall, so they're great for providing privacy in your yard as well. We're almost at the end of our program today, and as you can see, many of the plants that attract birds also attract bees and butterflies. And I'd like to offer a list of great online resources and websites that I refer to a lot. I particularly like the Audubon Society and the Georgia Native Plant Society. I joined both of these organizations, and they provide great resources for learning more about birds and plants. Two great books I'd like to recommend from the GCPL library are The Garden Secrets for Attracting Birds by Rachel Lanichi and Birds, Bees, and Butterflies by Nancy Hajeski. Both of these books gave great information and provided great pictures. So check out these books. In addition, the Britannica Reference Center is a great resource provided for free on the GCPL website. And you can go to this to find plant names, pictures of the plants, as well as information on birds and bees. The Atlanta Audubon Society offers interesting lectures and education classes, birding field trips. They also host native plant sales each year. And if you go to the National Audubon Society website, they have a great database where you type in your zip code, and they will send you a long list of plants in your area that attract birds. So that's a great resource. The Georgia Native Plant Society offers workshops, plant sales, and garden tours. So both of these organizations are great resources. City USA has a local branch in Decatur, and their goal is to make a difference in reversing the threat that's facing our native pollinators, our bees. This is a great resource for learning more about bee-friendly plants, as well as how to create a bee-friendly habitat in your yard. The next slide just shows the photo credits that I've used in my program today, as well as local plant resources. I particularly like Randy's Nursery for hard-to-find plants, like native plants, Joe Pye weed, for example. Randy's Nursery is located in Lawrenceville. Growers Outlet also is a great resource in Loganville. And then you have your Pike's Nursery, your Family Tree Garden Center, that's in Snellville, and of course Lowe's and Home Depot. So I want to thank you for your interest in plants and birds and bees, and I hope this program was helpful and it provides ideas and motivation for you to add some of these flowers or vines or trees to your yard. And if you have any questions or would like more information, you can always contact me at my email address, which you see here, smoura, SMOURA, at gwinnettpl.org. And look for more programs on gardening and cooking coming up from me. Thank you.